Okay, so you're an ag teacher at Sauk Rapids Rice, FFA advisor, and a lot of other duties. So first question I got for you is, what's your favorite ag class to teach?
I get asked that question a lot, and I don't like to answer it because I love all of my classes in some shape or form. But through the years, animal science has always been my favorite because it's where my history and my past mostly come from. So I can tie a lot of growing up on a dairy farm and my experience outside of this job, and so animal science. But forestry has kind of got a special place in my heart too.
So you just said you've done other jobs. Do you miss doing anything? I know I've heard you've done 4-H and other dairy things.
Yeah, so before here, I worked for University of Minnesota Extension, and I was the 4-H coordinator. I loved that job. I do miss it. It was a great work with youth and doing programming and county fair, but I got the call to come here, and I think it was the right fit. 4-H now has a good coordinator that's helping them out, and I get to do agriculture education in a different way. And then before that, I did Minnesota Holstein Association, nonprofit organization, and so really worked in dairy. But I just think each job has led me to here, and I use a lot of my past experience in my classes.
So you said you've talked a lot about dairy. I know you were a dairy princess. So how was that? And then I got a question after you explained that.
Okay, so I was a dairy princess because I grew up on a dairy farm not far from here. Loved it. It was promoting dairy products and really teaching people, how they got those things, because I grew up here in Sauk Rapids and there weren't a lot of farm kids. Got to put on a pretty dress and be in a parade, but really, more importantly, got to share my passion. And then I had the opportunity to try to be Princess Kay. I didn't get the big shiny crown, but I did get a butter head, and so that was a great time, but it was a long time ago.
So speaking of dairy products, since you said butter, what's your favorite kind of cheese?
Favorite kind of cheese? Ooh, I like all kinds of cheese, but it depends what we're making. At home, like a good pepper jack. Like we're doing a fancy cheese board. You can't go wrong with like some Gouda. So all kinds of cheeses.
So I know you talked about 4-H. My grandmother's in 4-H, so I know we were family neighbors, or country neighbors, sorry.
Yep.
So how'd you meet her?
So that's a good question, and I feel like I have known your grandma my whole life because I grew up in 4-H, was a 4-H kid through and through, interned, then took the job, and so I mostly just remember her always being at the county fair, whether it be for 4-H or then later on now as a fair board member, and just always like, what can I do to help, support, and like encouraging all of us when we were kids, even into adulthood. And so, yeah, when I think of your grandma, I think of the county fair.
So, final question. Do you have any piece of advice for young people? What's your best piece of advice that you could give?
I have lots of little nuggets, but we're getting into May and the end of the school year, and a lot of people get stressed about like what comes next, college or jobs or life. And it took me a long time to realize it, but I've learned not to stress about it so much, because do what feels right, and it's not the end of the world. What you pick tomorrow, though you should stick to it and work really hard, you're not stuck in it for life. If another door opens and you get another opportunity, it's just going to happen. So like, don't fight the forces of nature. Let it be what's going to be. Like I said, I didn't go to school to be a teacher, thought it would be awesome, but pursued the business route, and now here I kind of just followed what felt right, and now I'm teaching. So don't stress about it too much, make an educated decision, but you're not locked into it forever when you make that next step after high school.